there's a high-octane rescue operation on the high seas that's currently underway. All crew members, including 15 Indians on board the hijacked vessel, merchant vessel Lily Norfolk, have been secured. They are safe. That's a big story we're breaking here on India Today. Just a short while back, Indian Navy commandos boarded this hijacked merchant vessel on the high seas. Indian Navy Marcos or Marine Commandos are carrying out a sanitization operation in parts of the vessel. They'd sanitized the deck, they'd sanitized the top area of the merchant vessel, and now are moving from one cargo hold to the other, sanitizing the entire merchant vessel. And that's a huge show of strength by the Indian Navy. This is happening on the high seas. 15 Indian crew members were on board. Indian Navy helicopters were launched after a warship was sent to the area. The Indian Navy actually issued a warning to pirates off the coast of Somalia. These were supposed to be said to be Somalian pirates, and India told them, the Indian Navy told them to abandon the hijacked vessel immediately or face consequences. The Navy informed that the hijacked vessel MV Leela Norfolk was constantly under surveillance by its maritime reconnaissance aircraft and the Predator drones in the Arabian Sea. For more on this story, I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Shiv Aroor, who's in touch with sources in the Indian Navy. And Shiv, this is the live operation and you're getting us details, but it does indicate a huge step undertaken by the Indian Navy, Shiv.
Gaurav, a very high-risk operation of this kind is precisely why the Indian Navy is deployed in the Persian Gulf. This is precisely the kind of mission that the Indian Navy is frequently called upon to possibly do in the Persian Gulf near Somalia because of the profusion of piracy incidents that have been taking place for many years now. That's the reason why the Indian Navy is deployed there. This particular mission involving a ship that was sailing from Brazil to Bahrain, 15 members of the crew on board happened to be Indian. It was commandeered by pirates about 300 nautical miles off the coast of Somalia. INS Chennai, which was one of 3 destroyers that are currently, patrolling the region, Gaurav, immediately was diverted towards the hijacked ship using a helicopter. The Indian Marine Commandos, a detachment of Marine Commandos who were on board INS Chennai and who are on board all ships that are on piracy patrol, they got airborne. They rappelled down onto the hijacked merchant vessel. They were able to completely secure the crew and the bridge of the ship. So all things on board the ship are currently safe. We don't know whether a standoff has happened with the pirates, but I believe that the pirates may be cornered in one part of the ship. Obviously, the Marine Commandos are fully armed. There's reason to believe the pirates also obviously will be armed because that's how they take over a ship. But like you rightly said, Gaurav, this was an operation over sea and by the air as well. An Indian Sea Guardian drone from Arakonam in Tamil Nadu has been keeping constant tabs over this entire mission, giving the Marine Commandos and the officers and sailors on board INS Chennai a 24/7 minute-by-minute view
Absolutely.
of what's happening on board that ship. So currently, the pirates are not off that ship just yet, but there is reason to believe the Marine Commandos are fully in control right now and the crew are safe.
If you have power, show it. If you have power, project it. And Shiv, that's exactly what India is doing. That these are waters where India will play a bigger role because piracy is a huge threat to sea lanes of communication. And this is India's major power projection.
This is huge power projection. There's no doubt about it. It may be one ship, and one response team by the Marine Commandos, but the message this sends out is that India is the only power you can really count on in this region. The shipping lanes of communication, the trade routes that pass through the Arabian Sea, the Persian Gulf and from Somalia, they impact all countries in the Eastern Hemisphere, Gaurav, as you well know. And that's the reason why thanks should be given to the Indian Navy, to the Indian government for what they stand to actually achieve by projecting such power in the Persian Gulf. The Indian Navy has trained for missions of this kind many, many ways. We're hearing about this mission, Gaurav,
Yes.
because the Marine Commandos actually boarded. There are a multiplicity of, piracy attempts which don't happen and don't succeed because the Indian Navy ships are nearby, because warnings are sounded, because helicopters and Marine Commandos are nearby in their dinghies as well. So this is amazing. We're seeing pictures of this ship being saved from a piracy attempt, but there are many where it doesn't go through because of the power that's projected by the Indian Navy. And that really is the purpose of us being deployed there.
Oh, absolutely. And a nation's strength, a nation's power is gauged by these aspects. The more powerful your Navy is, the more powerful your naval air assets are, your Air Force, your Army. That's huge power projection. Shiv, keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more as the story develops. Shiv and I will continue to get you much, much more on India's power projection.